been a bit of a disaster if the customer hadn't called, but look at that. That is right the way up the flue. What is that? Did that work? Let me just break down. Welcome back, YouTube. We've got a jobbing episode for you. It feels like forever since I've done one of these. But it's peak silly season. We're doing a lot of jobbing, a lot of breakdowns, stuff like that. So I thought I'd put one together, show you how we go about doing repairs, how we diagnose some of the repairs, hopefully showing you some hints and tips and teaching you a thing or two. So I want to say thank you all again for your support. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please look at subscribing. It really helps me out. It doesn't cost you anything. You just got to click a button. Hopefully there'll be an episode coming up that'll help you out in the future. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. Always do my best to get back to everybody. Give the video a thumbs up and let's take a look at this week's work. Alright, so I've got a Valliant F75. If you remember, I was here not long ago doing this, replaced the EPH, but now we've got a leak and it keeps coming up F75. I'll just turn it off. Let's see what we got. Let's take the case off. So F75 and a Valliant, what the boiler will do, it'll try to fire. It'll start the pump 5 times and it'll want to detect a pressure rise between the strokes of the pump. So when the pump comes on, it wants to see the pressure go. What happens is the pressure sensor blocks up. If it don't detect that, you get F75. That's the most common fault on these. So we've got water all here, down there. That's going to be the diverter. That's going to be the diverter. The F75 is more likely going to be the sensor blocking up, because they had this problem where they did have pressure in you and it was going to F75. It's normally always that sensor. I've got a feeling that leak there is going to be the diverter. See, what I'll do is disconnect it, undo this nut, have a look at that spindle. Just show you guys what's going on. I just took the spindle out. It's inside there. It's very hard to see with the camera angle, but if I can get that hook back on there, it's actually leaking out the spindle. I don't think you're going to see that. Yeah, diverter's gone. And yeah, so we've got 2 faults, diverter and the pressure sensor. You can see the pressure sensor is very corroded up. So we have got it draining. We did put the holes on here draining. That bucket's getting a bit full. Let's get that pressure sensor replaced and we'll have to probably come back and do that. That's why I don't think Valliant boilers, it really is. They're not designed for British water. They're not. I'm sure in Germany, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it's deionised water in their system, so it's crystal clear. And when it starts hitting our market and our water with magnesite sludge and stuff like that, did that work? Let me just break down on water parts. I don't think anyone will ever convince me to fit Valliant. I'll do it for customer wants to, but nah, they ain't for me. Valliant viessmann, nah, not for me. Pressure sensor, there's a clip there. Just, I say just, this one's corroded in. Should just flick out. This one's been a bit of a pain. Oh my god, I've never known one to be so tight. Oh, I got it. You probably get a bit of water out of this, so just be careful. Basically, you just pull it out so actually get it out. Yeah, I'd say that's the fault. But inside there, can you see that filter? That's called a canoe filter, that is. Them can block up, and that looks blocked up as well. Let's try and do something with that. So I'm not going to lie, I've not took it out and cleaned it, but I have blasted it through. It seems to be a bit clearer now. It needs to be clearer from the one to go in, because I am pushing time on this one. It was just an in-day emergency. Not going, but I hate seen one that bad before. All corroded off, that's pretty bad. So yeah, we've got the new one. You get that point, it's a new one. You can see how it blocked up the old one as compared to it. And you just get that, and it just pushes in. And you just put your clip back on the top. It's a new one in. Just get your clip. Make sure it's on, there you go. Give him a pull. Yeah, it's definitely in. Always get paranoid how you put it in and nothing, it'll pop back off. The diverter, I've actually got one. I didn't realise I had one as well, so we can actually get that swapped over at the same time. Happy days. They just come with an adapter plug. All your seals and everything. This one's nice and easy. Sometimes on the globe web you haven't got this nut. If you haven't got that nut, it's a nightmare. But yeah, 3 screws. You've got one there, one right at the back underneath. Clip out, nut off, then that'll slide out from the pump once you pull that off. So, yeah, pull it off. Let's get this hole on there. Screws them out, 1, 2, 1 underneath there. I'll show you that properly. That's off. You pull that clip out. So for the dodgy camera work. So that clip comes out. That should come off. God, everything's so tight on this one. Bit of brute force, pipe's out of the way. So what you can do now is just wing it. Pop it out the pump. Up. There you go. That's the old diverter out. The screw is trying to get to right down at the back there. Don't forget to take your seals off at the back, so we're going to replace them seals. Off with the cut. I'll screw out. And that is ready now to accept the new one. So the new seals will go at the back. You'll pull them in and they'll just want to drop out. So a bit of silicone grease and make it a little bit sticky. And that then will stay in. Let's get that excess grease off. There we go. That'll stay in there. So once you seal some on the back, seal on there. You may divert and go in. You can try and angle it in there. Then a bit fiddly. There we go, it's lined up and it'll just push back into the pump. Just like that. I think I've left the whole thing in there, have I? No, it's on there. Okay, it's just been stubborn. There we go. Luckily, give them a push, and that clip there will just sit through there. Hold on. Through there. Give them a push. That's in clipped in. Let me get the screws back in. Another tip with the silicone grease on the screws. Put a little bit on your screw, and it won't fall off then when you're trying to get the screws back in. They were all in there. Top screws done. Bottom screw, you see I've changed it. That's a big long one now. Makes it a lot easier. But yeah, just gonna push the pipe back into there and a new fob washer on there. That's all back on. Make sure you put your clip back in here. Don't forget that. I've never done that. I have once. I have. I'm not perfect. Come on. There we go. And that should push right the way through the bottom. There we go. That's it. New diverter, the plug, adapter. I'm going to put that. Let's actually get that back on the pressure sensor first. It's not the right way. It's that way. There we go. Where's the adapter? Found it. I was sitting on it. Yeah, the adapter just takes it from the style, connects onto the old style. That's it. They have actually bought an F75 kit as well. Moves that sensor up to there, but yeah, I only had the sensor on me, so that I'll have to do for now. Also, there's been long left in this boiler, to be honest with you. Once the water pipes start to go, like I said, I don't like German boilers. They're not made for our water, so the water pipes always go on them, especially Valliant Diverter pressure sensor. They're very, very common. Let's fill up, see what happens. Hopefully nothing gets popped. It's got some pressure, power back on, boiler back on. Don't know if you can use the pump, condensate pump. Let's see what happens. Glug, glug, glug. Come on. And the heating is on. Just pop it on manually. See what it does. So boiler's all up and running for the heating now. Happy days. And there's the old pressure sensor and the leak on the diverter. Them two are the most common faults you'll find on this style and Valliant boiler. 1,000,000%. So yeah, they ain't too bad. I'll fix both of them with a posi, a big flathead, electrical, and a big pair of grips, and a bit of grease, a bucket in a towel, and a bit of pipe. So they ain't bad to work on, but yeah, like I said, not as long British water, you'll never convince me otherwise that Valliant's and good boilers. No, not for me. Let me know in the comments if you fit these and why. Just a quick one I thought I'd include in this. So if you've got a Baxi 830, you've got a lock exposed ignition, high readings when you're doing your telegan. Check the tractor seal. Look at that. That is right the way up the flue. It's supposed to sit in there. See if you're getting high readings, your tractor seal's come loose. You need to get it out and put it back in. So there we go. I should go in there like that. So there we go. That's all in. Do not lube this up. Just put this 45 directly back in. Okay. No lube on there at all. That's all back in, nice and firm. Just got to line up my elbows now. You see that one ain't far enough, but push them back together. Yeah, there we go. Normally Baxis, they won't have readings very high at all. Like if they're going up to near enough 200, 9 times out of 10, it's the track seal. On the Baxi Combi 2, they have changed now, so it shouldn't ride up, but yeah, just be aware of that.
Got Worcester CDI, well, this is the British gas version. Got no power to it, so a few spares on. You can see from the hive there is power going to the boiler, but it's just dead, just sitting there doing nothing. So we're just going to take the case off, 2 screws underneath, clip on the top, and we should be able to pull the case forward and investigate. First viewings, nothing's jumping out. There's no leaks, there's no scorching, nothing, but it does stink. It smells like something's set on fire. So we had a look near the pump, there's no signs of leaks on there, no signs of corrosion. So we've got an idea, this is from years of experience doing breakdowns. We think it could be that transformer. So we're just going to take the front case off the PCB. There's a few screws. There's 2 at the front, 1 in the middle and 2 at the back. You can undo them. Pop off your electrodes, get them out the way. Then we can get access to the PCB and that transformer. So just going to pop the transformer out. There you go. It is melted and it absolutely stunk as well. So this was first thing in the morning. We had to go out, order the part. Same day we managed to get the part from City Plumbing and we come back to fit it. Now, bit of advice, take a picture of all them wires before you start. So you've got to change everything on these. You've got to transform. We found at Worcester, they said, yeah, you got to get the kit to take it from with a transformer to without a transformer. So that's a new wiring harness, everything. But it's not as daunting as what it looks. It really isn't. These connections can only go one place only. They really can. So it isn't as bad as what it looks. The flue stat's probably the hardest one to get in, but again, that wasn't too bad. Diverter, they're just clipping, nice and easy, can only go in one way. Same with the board really. You just take the picture, just a reference on. And the 240 connections, again, them should slot into the designated places. The gas valve, they have got a connection to change that. So that just screws in, and you can put them on. And put the power on. And yeah, it will go to EA because they're testing the factory. Reset it, fan started up. Happy days, we've now got a working boiler. So we can just put it all back together now. Put the screws in the front of the PCB. And then we can test with the flue gas analyzer. Just make sure we put the air intake back in there. So we're going to do high and low readings, all our normal checks. Now the 2 backwards T's like that is siphon fill mode. It'll do that for a bit. About 10 minutes, something like that. But it will go back to normal. There you go, all done.
So this one was some nice easy plumbing. Got this tap, it's come loose. Custom wants replacement, they've got them on. Decent replacement to be fair as well. So we're going to fit underneath the tap. Let's have a look underneath. Customers moved everything out. It's on isolation valves. Oh, that's decent to be fair. What we probably have sometimes on these is the access to that screw there. See if it'll focus. Yeah, that one. So yeah, I'll show you the tools that we use to get in there. Let's get these off. Hopefully they won't leak. And turn the tap on just to make sure that they actually work. Beautiful. There we go. So I'll just go in there, took the nuts off, but that is not. It's down to fixing, is it? That? What is that? So it turns out there's actually a little grub screw underneath there. So I'm just going to do that and that should pull out, I think. Like a Bristol Easy Fit or something. Don't know. Just going to see what happens. See it coming out from the bottom and all that. It's easy now. I'm not doing anything with that. How are you going to solve the problem with the tap? Okay. That'll fit onto there, of course. So I have those, you know, the Bristol Easy Fit, same type of design as that. They've been popping off, been working the way loose like that one has. So I think that one could have been a bit of a disaster if the customer hadn't called, but we'll get the new tap in and yeah, bit of a lucky escape I think for the customer on that one. So yeah, there's a little Allen key underneath there. Once you pull the tap off, don't drop your Allen key. I'm guessing once we've undone that, it should come out. Eventually, it has come undone. Wow, that was a pain, that was. So the new one is just like a normal tap. We've got a thread, base plate. Yeah, should be pretty standard. Yeah, looks like it was one of them easy fit taps, which have got a reputation now for blowing off. And I bet you, because of how loose that one was, that will long behind blowing off. So set your tap up, just put your hose in, hot on the left, cold on the right, base plate on, and that rod, just put it in, there should be a flathead bit there that you can tighten in with. I'm just going to feed our tap through on here. God, I hope it fits. Oh, it was tight, but we got it in now to stop your tap from falling all over the place. Just turn the spec to the back. It'll just stay in position now for you to get in. And feed this one. That ain't too bad in our case, but them flexes were way too short. Right, it's taps in. I've started the bolt, you can see there. I've started that, but we are way too short for these flexes now. Brilliant. Hot and cold on cost as well. That's the cold there, because it's got the dishwashing and washing machine off. So the cold ones to come this side and the hot ones to come that side. Well, on this one you can see, put a 90 on, so it's it out. I've already done it with the cold. Yeah, so it just brings it back out for me. Use them, one of the master vendors. I've got them for some nice and small, keep in my toolbox. Loving them so far. Yeah, put 90 on. Get it there in the back there. Get it, there you go. And I can just angle that now. Well, now a lot of people will say you shouldn't be using elbows to connect taps up. Well, you can file them down if you want to. Just file them down, or just to make that into flash service. But your rubbers, to be honest with you, I've never known one split, to be honest with you. As long as you don't go and go and tiny right up, like, it's how they're sharp, so. Yeah, you can hate me in the comments. Yeah, that's an easy way to get out of it. Just a 90 elbow and done. Place, just a little tighten up with these. Not too much. You don't need to go and go, you really don't. There you go. So to get in and tighten that knot, we're going to use never tap kit now. I love this kit. The only thing I don't like, nothing ever stays in its place. It looks like that. It looks like a bomb's gone off every time I open it, but I'll find the right one and get it tightened up. See the tap kit, you can get underneath there, get all the extension pieces off if you need, and it is nice and easy to use. Get on that nut and just tighten it up. I do like that kit. Right, moment of truth. No leaks. No leaks. Beautiful. There we go. That's a new tap, all sorted.
Thank you all again for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please look at subscribing. It really helps me out as a channel. I'm looking to do some new things over the new year, over Christmas. So make sure you look out for them. I've got a feeling you'll hopefully like the content I'm going to start putting out there. So yeah, you'll have to wait and see for that one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.